funny. It's literally right here.
Whoa! Yo, that's sick.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's so fun.
That easy. What's up, Marryl? How you doing?
Hi, Ben. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing just swimmingly. So you're one of the guests that I've wanted to have on from the get-go. The reason why is because our paths are so similar in terms of our come up and also in the two jobs that we worked. We first met working for Google.
I was just thinking about those.
Yeah.
I was literally like, I worked 2 jobs with Ben, but when did we meet? And I literally remember that like Google meeting at whatever agency that was.
I remember getting there. It was right after the Raptors won the championship. And then I came in and Leanne was like, so how does it feel? And I'm just like, yeah.
I think you were wearing like Raptors track pants.
Yeah.
But I think it must have been like September or something because I'd just gotten hired. And then I was like, my ears perked up because I was like, oh, wait, I wonder, this is so great because I was like so stoked about it.
Yeah. And then that's when she started asking me all these questions about like the parade and everything and all that. And then I remember you were like, wait, do you work for the Raptors? And I'm like, yeah. And you're like, oh my God, I just got hired by them. I'm like, doing what? And he's like, oh, I'm part of their interactive group. I was like, that's what I do.
I was so excited.
Yeah, me too.
That was like honestly the greatest thing that could happen to me, like meeting you, because I remember when we walked into the fancy entrance to Scotiabank for orientation, I was like fully like shitting myself because I walk into this fancy ass lobby and there's just a bunch of really outgoing people, all like best friends. And I walk in, this like tiny little girl. It was just like, oh my God. And then I hear you and I was like, oh my God, a friend. Oh, this is so good. And then you introduced me to Kira. And then I was like, okay, we're good. We can do this.
Yeah. I know the feeling of coming into a place where everyone knows each other. And especially with our team where everyone's so buddy, like, oh my God, how was your summer? And then you coming in like, I don't know anyone. Oh, I know you. Right.
Please, somebody like say hey to me. Like, come on.
But it's crazy now because looking back since then and seeing where we're at now, everyone's like this one big happy family. So
yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm gonna put you on the spot. Which work family do you like better, Can or Raptors?
I want to hesitate because I want it to sound like but it's probably Raptors. I don't know. I feel like I have really good connections with specific people in Can that I like see all the time, but there are a lot of people I don't see all the time. As amazing as Can is, like the people who I work with, they're always like, wow, I haven't seen you in whatever, or even like you could literally never work with somebody and yet you're still really good friends. But as like a unit, I think the Raptors, because we saw each other like more consistently.
Yeah.
Although now that I'm explaining, I don't know now. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'm just biased to say the Raptors because I get to hang out with you guys at Raptors games. So like.
Now, follow-up question, which is the more fun job to work?
Oh, Raptors, obviously.
Really?
Like I do a lot of cool stuff with Camp and I love like the range of things and now I don't know. No, but Raptors, I've always been a huge fan and I just like live for that job. It's my favorite thing. It's so fun. So. Yeah,
for me, ultimately as a whole, Raptors, of course, but it depends on the day because obviously there'll be some games where it's not a great game. And then the same goes with Can where there's some events that you work that are absolutely like, oh my God, like Miss Harley Quinn over here, you know?
Okay, yeah, that was pretty fucking cool.
One of my favorite things about you is how similar our paths really are. You're also a theater kid. You went to U of T for theater and drama, but before we go into that, I need to know about your time at Grand River Collegiate.
Whoa, somebody does his research. What? As I'm in my hometown right now, that's so funny. This house that I'm in right now has been my home since I was literally like a year and a half old. It's my childhood home. My grandma lived around the corner. All my grandparents lived here. All my aunts and uncles live here. My cousins have kind of spread, but for the most part, like this is like hometown. And it is really good to raise a family. It's just like in my 20s, no, I walk around here, like even just to go to the grocery store and I like do some like reflection and I look at the people I'm around and I look at myself and I'm like, wow, you can tell that I'm such a Toronto girl. Like it's, yeah. So I love it, but I'm also like glad I don't actually live here all the time.
It's definitely one of those things where I won't necessarily say we take for granted, but it's like what you were saying, living in a small town city, it's nice and it's definitely great to settle down and raise a family and everything. But when you're in your 20s and you're thriving, you want to be in the big city. Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's just like opportunities and things going on. Being here, I remember as a kid, I was envious because Toronto had the big malls and like the cool concerts. So I love being where I have the opportunity right there, as if it's not even a big deal. It just makes things more exciting.
Has living downtown made you realize Toronto's a great city to live your 20s in, but not necessarily one you'd want to settle down in?
It's funny because a lot of people say that and I don't agree. Like, I would love to raise a family in the city. Yeah, because my most consistent source of income is I nanny. I nanny this baby for this family that live off Ossington.
Oh.
So like Bloor,
Part
Ossington.
of the city. Yeah.
Yeah. And Ossington is such a cool area. It's just a short walk from like Trinity Bellwoods and Queen West. And this baby is a year old. And so when I take care of him, they live in a townhouse. We go for walks. They have their like local coffee shop that they love and they know them there. And the city is right there. Like I can just like pop to Queen West with him and go to these cool parks. I don't know. I think that's such a cool thing to be able to still have all these things close to you that you can experience with your children. And I don't know. I just think it'd be cool to raise kids in the city, and I could be like a cool mom. And like,
totally had a Mean Girls flashback there when you said that.
Yeah, like I'm the cool mom.
So when you went to Grand River, were you a drama kid right from the get-go?
Yeah, like I took drama in grade 9, and then in grade 10, because there was no prerequisite, I took grade 11 drama. Like I just skipped grade 10 drama. Because grade 9 intern drama in our school was kind of like, you need an arts credit or you need to fill your schedule. Whereas like grade 11, 12 was a lot like smaller, more like serious, and so I just skipped, and in grade 10 I was in grade 11 drama, and then I was like in all the school plays, and like I had a lot of other things other than drama going on, but it was definitely a big part of it. Like I played on the school basketball team, and I was on student council and planned prom.
So what made you decide to go forward with pursuing a theater and performing arts degree?
Good question. I don't really know. There was never any plan B. It was always plan A. I remember like in grade 9, like having like a mandatory meeting with my guidance counselor, and I had to fill out a form that was like, what's your like current career goal? And I said I wanted to be an actor, and I remember my guidance counselor being like, it's good to have a backup plan. And I was like, okay. Didn't take that advice. I don't know. I started doing like community theater a little more seriously in high school, and then I was doing drama. I just knew I wanted to do it. I like did like drama camps, and when I was a kid, I was really shy, so I don't think I necessarily wanted to be the center of attention. I think I just always wanted to be the best. Because I was an overachiever and I just needed to be the best. And so like in elementary school, like I needed to be the narrator because they had the most lines. Yeah. And then I just kind of went from there, and I started researching schools and was like, yeah, like I want to go to university because I'm very academic, but I want to study theater. There's really no question. I literally only applied to 3 theater schools.
Which 3?
Windsor, U of T, and Ryerson.
I'm always super curious to hear different stories from people who went to school for performing arts, because there's a lot of similarities, but I feel like depending on what specific path you take, there's a lot of differences as well. Take me through your 4 years of U of T from freshman year to senior year.
What a time. Wow, so freaking long ago. U of T, the downtown campus has a theater program, but I went to the one that's at the Mississauga campus, which is so funny because people are like, oh my God, what was it like living downtown? And I was like, I lived in the suburbs. It was there because it was an intensive theater training program in conjunction with Sheridan. Yeah, where they have the musical theater program.
Fun fact, that's where I was supposed to go, but I decided against it.
You mentioned this, yeah, because you actually went to, where'd you go?
I went to Humber.
Yeah.
But I don't know. At the time, I don't know if musical theater is the path that I fully want to take. Unless you're fully committed to it, you'll never be satisfied.
And the funny thing with that program, it seems to be a really good program from what I saw, but something that I don't love about it is it's like 45 people in a class.
Yeah.
Going to be musical theater actors, and there are not enough jobs for them. Like there just aren't. If anything, you'll be consistently in the chorus of Mirvish, which is like, if you love that, then like sure, but it's just like there's just, I don't know. So I ended up graduating with a degree from U of T, and a diploma from Sheridan, which was amazing in terms of education, but it also made it a lot more intensive. So I had a 4-year degree and a 2-year diploma. So 6 years of education condensed into those 4 years. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I was at U of T doing like lectures, mostly taking theater history, but I also got a minor in English. So a lot of English classes. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays, we were at Sheridan taking our acting classes. So for the first 2 years, it's a lot less. Like you only have classes at Sheridan in the morning. And then in the afternoon, you're working on the stage crew for the senior productions. So we were doing like set and costume and props. And you did those in the afternoons or at nighttime, like during the show. In second year, I can have like cooler jobs in second year. So I was an assistant stage manager. And then I was like front of house. And then third and fourth year, you have full days at Sheridan on Tuesday and Thursday. And then at night, you're rehearsing for the productions that you're in. So you do 2 plays a year, one in the fall and one in the spring. And your rehearsals are like, if that's a class, like that's one of your credits. In university, you have 5 classes a semester and they're like half credits. So you get 5 full credits a year to make 20 credits to graduate. So those 5 classes that I had in the semester, all of my Sheridan, no matter how much I was there, was 1 half credit. And then the play that I was in was another credit. And then I still had 3 lecture credits. So I was at Sheridan for like 9 and 12 hours a week. And that was 1 credit. And then rehearsals were blocked off for about 24 hours during the week. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 6 to 10. And then Saturday, Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So I had 40 hours of class a week in third and fourth year.
That's a grind. Yeah. The arts is very different than say like sciences or law or anything like that. What people don't realize is just how many hours get put into it. And it's something that should not be understated at all. Like we're putting in work, you know?
Yeah. I always have people be like, oh, you don't spend so much time in the library. I'm always in the library, like grinding. And I'm like, I don't have time to go to the library. I do homework on Sunday, which is also when I do laundry and meal prep and like try to sleep. And I don't discount anybody's experience. It's just a very unique experience. I loved it, but yeah, it was nuts. It was really crazy.
In your 4 years, what was your favorite project or production that you were ever a part of in any capacity?
Damn. All the plays that I did, like in third year and fourth year, we got really lucky. We did really good shows. Like in third year, my class did a collective creation project based on a book called The Massey Murders. It's a historical book about this rich man. I can't remember his first name. His last name was Massey. It's like Massey Hall and all that stuff. That family, his housekeeper shot him dead on his porch in broad daylight in 1903. She was saying that he was acting inappropriately towards her, and there was this huge trial and all this stuff. So we made it into this creative collective thing with all these like movement pieces. It's so like artsy hippy dippy shit, but like it's fucking cool. And fourth year, we did a play called Uncommon Women and Others by Wendy Wasserstein, who's like a beautiful like feminist playwright. Sure, it's like the coolest shit. And it was this play about 5 women who were best friends in college at a time where women were kind of coming in their own and being able to talk about their sexuality, but like not really. And some women were just trying to marry for money. And it was just like a beautiful like feminist look at women and relationships. And it was an all-female cast and a female director. And it was just so cool. Such like a really like good experience as like a young woman.
Nice. I think the thing I love the most about the arts is just how diverse it can dive into all the different aspects of culture. The fact that you can perform or write a show that can connect to so many different people. There's so many different stories that you can tell. And it's such a great medium and platform to present all of it.
Yeah, it's definitely 100% my favorite thing about acting and performing is that it is storytelling. I don't know, when people are like, wow, like why do you like acting so much? And I'm like, have you ever seen a movie or a TV show or a play that really just gets to you? And you're like, shit, like that's me, or like I understand that, or like that made me cry, or that made me feel so much. Like I love that. Like that's so great that we can create things that make people feel like they're understood and connected and discover things about themselves.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to give you 2 words and I need you to tell me the first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay. I'm like bracing myself. Like
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Scotch tape.
Oh my God. The fucking time of my life. One of the greatest things that's ever happened to me. Also fucking hard. I feel like anybody listening to this is like, wait.
Tell me the story behind Scotch tape.
Oh man, we have to go back a few years to start.
Let's do it.
Okay, so theater school is great. Theater school also tore me apart. If you fail a math test, it's because you didn't memorize the equations or don't understand like how they work. If you fail a theater practical or an acting exam, something is wrong with your body, or you don't know how to speak, or you don't know how to access human emotions.
Yep.
And it makes you feel like shit.
Mm-hmm.
So that built up for 4 years. And at the end of the 4 years, it was like, okay, time to move from Mississauga to the big city and just struggle and be stressed and make it as an actor. And I was like, okay, yeah, my lease was coming up on my place in Mississauga. And I was like, yeah, like looking with a girl to like move. And I was like, I'm going to do it. But I was so anxious about it. And I was like, oh my God, what? Like, I don't know. Like, I want to and I have to, but like, I can't. And I don't even know if I want to be an actor anymore. Like, I don't want to be an actor. And I think everyone goes through this. I know
Absolutely.
that you are experiencing like similar feelings of like, well, now what? Then one day, this girl who I know, I was friends with at the time, who was younger than me. So she'd spent her gap year of high school, living as an au pair, like a nanny in the south of France. And she posted on Facebook around the time that I was grappling with my existence. And she was like, hey, as you guys know, I've been doing this and my family is actually looking for somebody because I have to come back so I can go to school. Let me know if you're interested. And I was like, that's what I want to do. Realistically, looking back, like I know I was running away from all of my problems and like avoiding responsibilities like an adult. But I was like, I messaged her, we talked about it. I was like, this is it, this is what I'm going to do. I called my parents. I was like, can I move home for the summer? They were like, sure. And I was like, cool. And then 4 months later, I got on a plane by myself and I moved to the south of France.
Jeez.
And just quit it all. Goodbye. I swear this connects to Scotch tape. It just all has to come.
No, for sure. It's your story. Tell it. Like,
oh man. I actually ended up like working for that family. I ended up finding a different family because it's just the way the things worked. But yeah, I lived in this little French town right on the Mediterranean Sea, kind of close to like Nice and like Saint-Tropez and like Cannes and stuff like that. And I ate croissants and lived my best life. I like took care of these children and I didn't focus on any future thing. I just lived my best Mediterranean life. While I was there, I started dating somebody, a guy who was French, very seriously for pretty much the entire year that I was there. And then after a year, like my visa was running up and he was going to be going to school for something. And we're like, hey, we're staying together, but go home and we'll kind of figure this out. And he was going to school. And then a few months after that, he was going to have like a career change. He didn't know where he was going to be located for that. And it could have been like a tropical island in French Polynesia. And so there's a lot going on. And I was still kind of avoiding dealing with my own life, that I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna kind of follow him, like do what he does and whatever. But then I moved back and I was like, but I want to be an actor. Like I just want to do it. But like I don't, but like I do. I was trying to figure out, well, maybe I could move to Toronto. What would that look like? All the while being like, how do I navigate this with my relationship? And that went on for about another year of me living at home and working and saving money for wherever I was going to go. And just so torn between like, do I follow him or do I do my own thing? Like, I don't know. There's this weird culmination, 2018, summer into fall. I was still planning on moving to Toronto, but my relationship was falling apart. And so I was like, am I going to move to France or am I moving to Toronto? And then there's this time where I just came to this earth-shattering realization of how this person who I was dating was a terrible human being. The worst person I've ever met in my entire life. Awful person, awful partner, big old narcissist. And I was like, oh shit. And I think about a week after that, I moved to Toronto because I'd been like laying these plans just in case, not really knowing. Like I found an apartment, I found a job, all this stuff kind of culminated. And I was like, wow, I see how it all is now. And I was like, great, time to fucking leave all that behind and start my new beautiful life. And like a few days later, I moved to Toronto by myself, like out of nowhere. And then like a week after that, I applied to Fringe.
Oh, wow. Okay, wait. So Scotch Tape is essentially that story, everything leading up to that moment?
Essentially, yeah.
That's crazy.
I wrote Scotch Tape about that relationship. It wasn't like set in France. The context of the play wasn't reality, but it was about that relationship. Yeah,
like the feelings and everything behind it.
Yeah.
Wow. Have you seen the movie La La Land?
Yeah, I did not watch La La Land. And then I started this journey of writing this play, which is a solo show.
Yeah.
And then I think a couple months in, I watched La La Land and my jaw was just dropped. Yeah.
This whole time you were telling the story, I'm like, where have I heard this before? Hold on.
Yeah. Like there are differences and whatever, but like,
of course, those core motives behind it are practically identical. So, wow.
Yeah, so that was crazy.
Depends on the day, but might be my favorite movie of all time.
I wouldn't blame you.
Why did you call it Scotch Tape specifically?
When I submitted for Fringe, for context of anybody listening, like the Toronto Fringe Festival, it's a theater festival. You just submit, it's a lottery, and then you hope for the best. I did it on a whim because I just heard about it, and I had to invent a theater company name and invent a play title, and the play didn't exist, but I wanted to write it based on a monologue that I wrote for my 4th year absurdism class. Our first assignment was like, write and perform a monologue. You don't have any rules, just do what you want. And at the time I was like in a real not good emotional state. And I wrote this like really depressing monologue about what do you do when you're feeling really depressed. And it was kind of like an infomercial, but like a really monotone depressed girl infomercial. And it was like how to like convince people that you're like fine. And it was like, simply apply a piece of Scotch tape to all affected areas. And then I whip out a thing of Scotch tape and I start taping my face into a smile. Like I like pull my eyebrows up and I like tape them. And I'm like this, like, see everybody, like I'm good. All while singing that song, like Smile by Charlie Chaplin. It was a real hit. It was very dramatic. It was really depressing. My class was like, what the fuck? But my professor was like, that was great. And I had instructors like after that say like, turn that into something more, like that could be something more. And so I thought, why not? Didn't think I'd actually get in. Somehow I actually got in. And then I was like, fuck, like now I have to turn this 5-minute monologue into a 45-minute play. And I was still going to write it about that. Like I was going to write it about depression in general. The time I was writing it, I like wasn't feeling depressed. So I was like, and then I was like, oh, fuck it. Like write what you know, and eventually decided to write it about that relationship, but still the theme of like putting on the facade that people like want to see. Like they want you to seem happy and fine and good when things aren't good. So that little Scotch tape moment played a huge part in the climax of the play. So yeah, you're watching and you're like, what? And then why is this called Scotch tape? And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, because she's going through some shit. Yeah.
It's cool how you didn't even have the play written when you applied. It was just like, all right, well, let's hope for the best. And then you actually got through, you're like, oh, okay, so we're doing this, right? Yeah. I don't know how much you believe in like divine intervention or fate. Like you said, that experience for you was probably one of the best experiences of your life.
Yeah.
Just the fact that you were able to have that outlet to release all of this. Like I said, I don't know how much you believe in fate, but it's one of those things where it was like the catalyst for this creation that meant so much to you. So
yeah, I mean, I also don't know how much I really believe in fate, but it's kind of like you get what you put out there. And also like one of my favorite like phrases is that luck is when preparation meets opportunity.
Yeah.
So I don't know, just always preparing. And then I had this opportunity. I got really freaking lucky with that whole thing. And I was grappling with this really awful relationship and what that was all about. And then had this like really therapeutic outlet to deal with it. And then like we were talking about, like tell this story that was able to connect with people and like relate to their lives and hopefully help them. Not that I hope anyone who saw my play was going through a similar relationship, but how to like, you know, like identify those feelings and that situation.
That's the reason why we create. That's the reason why we tell stories, to hope that it resonates with just one person. Because if it resonates with just one person, then we did our job. And that's more satisfying than really anything.
Even it kind of be created like between me and my director / co-producer, even with us, with a relationship that she was going through, she was like, I don't know, it was a little Scotch tapey of him. And I was just like, wow, like I feel like I'm actually like helping.
We're going to transition into this segment I like to call Analyze This. Basically, I do a deep dive of your social media.
Do you watch Hot Ones? Am I on Hot Ones right now?
You're the
I'm not trying to call you out, but I'm sorry, I don't want to like steal it, but I love this.
I'm gonna be completely transparent with you. This idea was exactly ripped off of Hot Ones. Absolutely.
I'm so excited.
Shout out Sean Evans. Yo, if you ever want me on Hot Ones, my DMs are open. So
then
all right, let's get into it.
Okay, let's get into it.
Photo number 1.
Oh shit. This is so funny. I was literally playing basketball this morning with that handsome man on the right. Okay, so this is the start of my basketball career. As you can see, especially in the first photo, I am the tallest person. Yeah, I think the first one I was in grade 3 and the second one I was in grade 4. It's just like house league basketball. My dad coached me. So my dad played basketball in college, and I have an older brother. Number 4 on the Magic is my older brother. He started playing basketball, and my dad, after like a couple years, was like, do you want to play? Because he saw that I was abnormally tall.
Of course.
He's like, yes, like I can do this. Yeah, and this is the start of it all, where I then went on to play until I was like 18. Pigtails were really in. I really cared about picture day. Can you see the resemblance?
Oh yeah. Oh, I can totally see it. I love how in the Magic photo, your facial expression is like, yeah, let's go crush some people.
Even though I was such a little sunflower. Yeah, I had no aggression. I had no muscle mass. I still don't. That was my biggest flaw as a basketball player. It was always like, oh, Marryl, you need to like squeeze tennis balls to like get stronger hands and work on your muscle. And I was just like, I don't, it's never going to happen.
Ready for the next one?
Heck yeah. Oh God. That's an Oreo, in case you're like, what? Sheridan campus had like photography and makeup and whatnot, like all those like creative programs. So they often looked for models for their photo shoots for class. So yeah, I did a couple like random little photo shoots. Yeah, this is just a Sheridan student photo shoot.
What made you bring out an Oreo?
It was her. She was like, you're a model backstage. I'm not trying to shit on this girl. I thought it was cute. But like, you're a model backstage. You're like getting your makeup done. But you're also like snacking on Oreos. And you get like caught in the act. And I was like, okay, sure.
All right, ready for the last one?
Yes.
I think you'll appreciate this one.
I hope. Oh, man. Ben, just flexing for me so I don't have to. Wow, that's funny. It's literally right here.
Whoa! Yo, that's sick.
Yeah. I'm in my mom's art studio. I just haven't moved it. This is a painting I just did last week. Harry Styles, because who doesn't love Harry Styles? I am a casual artist. I just do it for fun. Sometimes I sell stuff. Sometimes I do commissions. Never really been a career. It's for sale if anybody wants to buy it. DM me. Realistically, I actually hope to turn this into a bit of a series, make some more, make an actual like online store, try to sell some stuff, because you know we're in the middle of a pandemic and my unemployment will run out in a few months. So gotta find a way to sustain myself. And,
absolutely. Yeah. When I first saw this, I was like, did she make that? And I'm just like, oh my God, this girl's a Renaissance woman.
Thank you.
I might need you to do one for me of like Kanye West.
I literally would.
We'll talk after the show.
Yeah, but I mean, anybody, if they want, I just painted Harry Styles because I love him and also because I thought he would sell really well.
There's going to be that One Direction hardcore fan who will be like, buy.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I'm tempted to keep it because I love him so much, but whatever, let's do another one. But yeah, if anybody out there wants their own, like, hit me up. Well, thanks for the shout out. Appreciate it. Exposing my talent so I don't have to.
So you don't have to plug yourself. Absolutely.
Yeah.
How'd you develop and find that love for painting?
So my mom was a high school art teacher for my whole life. She was retired a couple years ago. And my dad worked in graphic design.
Oh, it's in your blood.
It's literally a choice. My parents never like forced me. It was just always around and they always like encouraged it. And I always had a plethora of supplies. And it was just a very like natural path. It's the same, like my brother's really creative too. He's a web developer. He also like loves like to draw, and it's just a very like normal thing. And then middle school, when you start like actual like art class, like I was very committed to it and I was good at it. And so I wanted to be better at it because my personality type is like, I just like,
you want to be the best.
I want to be the best. Like
exactly.
I try so hard to stay humble. I am very like shy and like whatever, but like I want to be the best. So I wanted to be the best and I like doing it. I liked being good at it. It's something that takes learning and practice and like you can do it. So
in terms of characteristics that people in the performing arts have, I think that's one of the most important ones that sets the good apart from the great. You have to have that competitive drive of like, yo, I want to be better than you. Not even coming from like a narcissistic or cocky standpoint, but if you really love your craft, you want to be the best at it.
And I don't even think it's like being better. I think you just have to focus on being
the best version of yourself.
Yeah, and the best version of yourself. And also you have to have the right motivations. And I know you understand this because you've talked about this like in your blog post. You wanted to go into performing arts and then your like motivations shifted. And I'm not judging anyone, but I just see a lot of different types of actors in Toronto and ones who don't really do any formal training and they just decide they want to do it. And a lot of people don't do formal training and are very good at it and love it for the right reasons. But then a lot of people just want to be famous.
It's more ego driven. Absolutely.
Yeah, they want to be famous and they want to make money. And I'm like, I'm sorry, if I wanted to make money, do you think I would want to be an actor? No, I would go be like a consultant. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's the realest truth that anyone could ever speak. If
I want to go to law school and try to be a lawyer, make a bunch of money, but I don't, and I just want to be an actor. And you find people who don't love it for all the good it can create in the world, and I think those are the people who aren't going to be successful. It's the same with art. Like, I don't try to make art that's commercialized that I can sell, and even if it's something that I could sell like this, like I still try to make something that I enjoy doing, and I don't enjoy making art to get money out of it.
We're gonna wrap it up with some rapid fire questions and then we'll call it a show.
Oh my god, it's so fun.
All right. Okay. All-time favorite movie and all-time favorite play / musical.
Oh, okay. All-time favorite movie is the Royal Tenenbaums movie.
Wes Anderson.
If anybody listening to this, go watch the Royal Tenenbaums because it's fucking so good. Favorite player. I really like Edward Albee, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. I'm a little biased because I was in it one time. The Goat is also really good.
Jubes, if you're listening, it's not about Kawhi.
It's like really far from about Kawhi. It's about a man cheating on his wife with a goat. Like a literal goat.
No, an actual goat.
Yeah, it's fucked. It's so cool though. Yeah.
Favorite basketball player?
Currently, Pascal Siakam.
Aside from you, who would play you in your biopic?
Oh, damn. Oh my god, what's her name? This is so bad. Oh, Zoe Deutsch. Do you know her?
No, I don't know.
She's like really up and coming right now. She was in like Set It Up, which is on Netflix. I just feel like we have the same really quirky personality. Little neurotic, and I like love it. I love watching the rise of actors' careers and just seeing like people like her, Miles Teller.
That's so weird how you said that, because right when you were saying the rise of people, he was the first name I thought of.
Really?
He was the exact first name I thought of.
He's so talented. I'm obsessed with him. I think he's such a good actor. And like Timothée Chalamet.
His come up has been crazy too.
Crazy. Like Saoirse Ronan, like young actors, like watching them, like, have you ever seen the YouTube series Actors on Actors? Oh, this is gonna change your life. It's by Variety and it's called Actors on Actors, and it's just two actors sit down and they just talk to each other like
that's sick.
Minutes. Yeah,
I love it. I love it. Fun fact, before they casted Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone, do you know who the original two for La La Land were supposed to be?
No, I don't know.
Miles Teller and Emma Watson.
Really?
Yeah, but the reason why it fell through is because Emma Watson chose to do Beauty and the Beast instead.
Wow. I mean, bless her sweet heart, but her American accent is atrocious. And can she sing?
She wasn't bad in Beauty and the Beast. I shouldn't even say that. I'm in love with her. So I was like,
I love her.
You have a beautiful voice.
Emma, if you're listening. No, I'm obsessed with her. And she's like my acting goal because she got so famous and then she went and changed the world. And I'm like, make me famous so I can go and work for the UN.
Yeah, because Harry Potter literally set her up for life. So she's like, I technically don't have to act anymore. I can spend my time changing the world, which is
positive change. Yeah,
exactly.
Tell her. I feel like Miles would have been good in it, but Emma Stone was like just perfect.
There's a reason why she won an Oscar for that. You know?
Yeah.
Acting or painting?
Career acting, painting for shits. If it was like Sophie's choice and I had to kill one of my children, like, I don't know. I'd have to think about it, but.
All right, last question. What would you tell your 13-year-old self?
13. So like grade 7, 8. One day how tall you are is going to be your favorite thing about you. I don't know, like I feel like I'd want to say don't stress about all these things that don't matter, but I feel like stressing about the things that don't matter really build character. I feel like I'd probably say like you're not going to peak for a while and that's okay. I still haven't peaked. I wasn't like a popular girl in high school or anything. Like,
You were just on student council. You played basketball. You were on the prom committee. Yeah.
Like I did a lot of stuff and I was like, people knew who I was. I wasn't like cool. I was like fucking like 6 feet tall in the 10th grade. I was not cool, Ben.
It's one of those things where as you grow older, you learn to embrace it. Have you ever watched Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
Tyrion Lannister said something about being a dwarf where he was like, wear it like armor. Don't let people use it against you.
There's always somebody who wishes they had that. And like the number one thing I would say is that one day your height is going to be your favorite thing about you. Yeah.
Thank you for coming on to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Telling your story. That was a fun conversation.